Hello and welcome to the Astroflower, and this is going to be a reading for the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April, and it's going to be leading into the monthly reading. So basically, if you don't know anything about eclipses, basically it's when the moment, obviously, when the moon goes in front of the sun, and it's in the perfect position where you can have a full eclipse or partial eclipse and stuff like that. And what we got coming up on the 30th of April during Taurus season is a partial eclipse, and it's going to be in the Antarctic region and in South America. So going up and touching basically the root chakra. So it appears to be sort of like, playing on anything that's connected to your roots. And usually when eclipse happens, so magnetically what happens is it acts a little bit like a focal lens for the Earth. So it creates this magnetic pull even more towards the sun, which is going to pull the Earth's energy and make it a little bit more sort of accentuated across the board and heighten those elements that are within all of our flowers. So our astro flowers, that is. So it makes this, it pulls it like a magnet, if you like. And in so many cultures, it's been tied into auspicious occasions. People sort of prophesize with it and etc. Certainly, people see it as a changing moment between two periods. But this year is a little bit special. It's quite nice. It's quite interesting. First things first, we have that partial eclipse on the 30th of April, which is in the Taurus season, and we'll be going into the elements a little bit on that. And also, there is just after that, on May the 15th, I think it is, or the 16th actually, is a total lunar eclipse, which is from the blood moon as well, the fire moon, as it were, the blood moon, the red moon, which is coming up also in Taurus season. Then we have another eclipse, and this time it's total eclipse, and it's up in the region of Russia. You're going to be able to see it also if you're in Eastern Europe and Northern Eastern Europe, and also in the UK. You should be able to see part of it. Please go and check out on the internet exactly just sort of where you are. I don't have the maps at hand, but yeah, it roughly goes into there. But that's funny enough because that's on the 25th of October, so that's in Scorpio season. Now, if you know anything about the Astroflower, if you don't, go down in the links below. You can discover a lot about the Astroflower, about the petals, about the elements, and about the qualities, and how it all sort of works together as a tool to help you develop your life. It's a personal development tool, basically, and that could be within your business, and that could be within emotions and relationships and work you need to do in your lives. We've all got a bit of work to do at some point. So so the next total eclipse is on the 25th of October. So that's in Scorpio season. So let's just have a look at those two flowers there. Now they're opposite one another within the the astrology sort of ring, as it were. And they're opposite each other. They're both fixed signs. But the funny thing is Taurus is 2/3 earth and 1/3 fire, whereas Scorpio is 2/3 water and 1/3 air. And when you can see this between these two signs here, where you have air, well, there on the lower parts of the petals in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Scorpio, you have fire in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Taurus, and where you have the earth, you have water in Taurus. So Scorpio and Taurus are very, very connected between these two signs. They do actually they're very complementary. And when you look at them as lovers, and when you invert the flowers upon one another, they do work really well. So, and the most interesting thing here is probably that earth, that air and fire. And what we can see is at the surface is the cardinal fire that comes in through Taurus, that comes from Aries, and the cardinal air that comes up through Scorpio, which comes from Libra. They're going in either sense to one another, and they sort of, one is a provocation from the exterior, that's Taurus, in the way of passions and etc. And then it's provoking ideas and mental stimulation, which comes up through Scorpio. So basically, on this partial eclipse, and it's to do with the root, and I would have thought it's going to be the lower petals that are going to be affected the most, you may get a situation where the passion of the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April is just like the starting gun. So it's like the first domino that falls before we can get to the whole big dominoes that actually do fall. And because we get from a partial to a total, and we have those lunar eclipses as well, the one on the May the 17th and November the 5th as well, just after the other one, it's like it's a beginning and an end date. So this, between the 30th of April going right through to the 5th of November, it's going to be interesting what sort of things are sort of instigated during this eclipse and how they follow all the way through to the eclipse that are coming up in October and the eclipse in November, which will be the finality of it all. Okay, so Scorpio used to be back in the days of Babylon and etc. Scorpio was actually a weighing machine. So you had the two claws of Scorpio, and you'd hold it by the tail, and you can weigh goods and what have you on it. So it's a little bit about judgment, and Scorpio and Libra were certainly signs that were made after we changed from a 10 to a 12-month period, and they were taken out of Virgo and Sagittarius. So it is a little bit about sort of judgment in a way. And Scorpios have certainly, they're very concerned with sort of human rights and that sort of things. So that could well have something to do with it on a global sort of sense. We did do world readings on what we were calling the Taurus event, and this could well be it. Although I was, inclined more to the May the 12th, this could well be the time when it actually sort of happens. So the moon with its 28-day cycle is just a reflection of the sun, because the sun's most perfect rotation section is 28.5 days. It's an average of 30.5 days. Now, once you take into the North Pole and the equator, which gives us our 30 days and 31 days of the Gregorian calendar. So, and that's why February is 28 days to respect the moon. And that comes with Aquarius, the human side, the washing away. Now, I did mention this in Cymatic TV as well, and you may want to go and see that when I did an energy update. And I was talking about a tsunami of water, like emotions that's going to be coming through. So you might want to go and have a look at that as well on our sister channel. So without further ado, let's get on with your reading, shall we, for this eclipse. And as I said, we'll be reading the eclipse reading from tarot cards, doing a full flower. And then there's a separate video coming out where you will be getting the monthly readings. So, because obviously it starts off with eclipse May, it sort of finishes April on the eclipse, and it's starting off May from that eclipse. So we're going to be going from one to the other. I will be separating this into two videos, which you will be able to get the link for the second one, which is the monthly one, where we will be at the end pulling 6 cards to just see what that 6-month period is between those two eclipses. So if you're ready, strap in. This is going to be a bit of a journey. And don't forget, this may not resonate for everybody. This is obviously a general reading, so please take it as it resonates with you. Certainly with the eclipse one, it's not personal. It's more of a guidance more than anything else. Okay.
So Gemini, let's get on with your reading for this eclipse that is happening. This is quite funny. The Wheel of Fortune, that's really nice for you. And the Devil, so you're getting very similar cards to what other people have been getting. There's certainly 3 on there that people are definitely picking up on there. On that, that comes up for everybody and in that same position. What is that all about? Hey, what is that all about? What are we doing? Six of Cups as well, that comes in, that initiates a lot. And the Ace of Pentacles also is very, very well known. Eight of Cups though, okay, so this is the eclipse. So the eclipse is about something that happens to us on the external, so it's out of our control, it's a celestial sort of thing, and it affects the surrounding environment, the human surrounding environment. So it initiates changes, and a lot of cultures see it as a bad thing. Some cultures might see it as a good thing. There's lots of ways of looking at it, but whatever culture you look at, there seems to be it seems to be an initiator of change in some form or another. And the eclipses we got that I talked about earlier on in the introduction was this is the initiator, and the one in October is the finalizer. You know, it finalizes that initiation sort of thing, and it's for everybody's reading. They've come up. It seems to come up where there's a change going on. Something fundamental in the environment of the human being has changed. Therefore, the rules and regulations have changed. And so there's definitely some sort of change going on. You've got that change in the sense of the Wheel of Fortune on this sort of side, on your financial sort of side. You are coming up to your birthday, so there is going to be things playing on you that are in your own cycle. So in the last 3 months before your birthday, it's equivalent of your autumn. You're going a month away from your autumn, so this is just before your season. So it's going to be trying your emotional side and your relationships and everything like that. And that seems to play out here as well. This is how it's going. The eclipse is going to be affecting your part of your autumn, where you sort of sort out what you want to experience and what you don't want to experience after your birthday. And it's, you got the Strength card there, so it's as an instigator, once you instigate something, you've got to stay true to it, and I think that's what the Strength card is all about. Staying true to this new way of living, and this new way of living is going to reveal to you that you've been carrying too much. And Geminis, you do. I think this could be a mutable thing. I think mutables do carry a lot, because Virgo is very similar, but you've been carrying a lot of stuff that probably isn't yours. And the Devil card here is the light bearer, so it's not a nasty card at all. The Devil is the personage, or the person that brings the light which shines on all the possibilities, basically. That's why he sort of comes bearing gifts, and some of those gifts are like temptations that divert you from your path. And I don't think this is a case of this. I think this is more of a case where the Devil is actually turning up and sort of saying, look at all this shit, man, that you're carrying. Why bother? Why do you need to? This is no longer exists in this new paradigm. This is how it sort of feels to me. And it will show you your own extreme side of your emotions and the way you get into relationships with others and stuff like that, and how you get in a relationship with yourself as well. And that's what that Strength card has got to be about, sort of having that strength to change with the changes. If you can see all of this, and this is what it's going to provoke as well, and this seems to be the most important card for everybody, because it is coming up on everybody's cards, apart from a lot of swords, it's got to be said. And you don't have any swords. Trying to see? No, you don't have one sword. You're the first sign that doesn't have any swords. All the others have had loads of swords. So this may be giving you a bit of a pass, really, but you've got planning to do. And this is all to do with your month coming up before your birthday. So you may be in that mode of sort of saying the initiator is initiating a new journey, and I've got a plan for that journey emotionally. And once you find that strength within you to let go of a lot of stuff that you've been carrying, you're going to see that there's lots of options, and those options need planning. And once you do planning, apparently you're going to combine it all very well together. It's all going to come together like a plan does. And you're going to have that Ace of Pentacles, which is all about planting for the future generation, as it were. So I just need to check it's recording, yeah. Planting for a future generation. And that future generation is yourself, but it's taking some of your seeds and investing them in a long-term plan, so you plant them up and then you can harvest those seeds in the future. And this is what you realise, this is what is going to be the realisation out of this solar eclipse for you guys. So, and certainly within an emotional thing, is that the planting in the future is saying, okay, well, I'm not going to carry so much in the future. I'm going to choose what I carry because it's going to be beneficial, not only to me, but everything that is around you. And that's where the Strength card comes in. So there you go. That's the relationships and the emotional sort of side. Let's have a look at the sort of financial sort of side, where most of the changes in all the other signs has been initiated. And you have the Wheel of Fortune already. So this is the real influence from the outside of the eclipse, as well, the outside universe, and it's providing you there is a change in fortune, and this can swing both ways. It depends on how you come up to this point. If you come up to it with a in a conscious way, you should get, and this is everybody's getting this card as well, is feeling absolutely secure about your future, and secure about not only your financial future, but just of your understanding. That's what you feel secure about as well, of what you can do. And we can realise maybe that there's some things that we do that are not worth doing. You have that Page of Wands, so you've got that sort of understanding, a very, very childlike sort of aspect, and that change of fortunes may release you into driving your passions through your work, through your business, through your projects, in completely different ways of what you've done it in the past, and you'll be learning loads about yourself. That's what that whole path thing is about. That's Six of Cups. It's doing things for future generations that you may not see the benefits of, and so it could be a case of something coming back, as it were, but I don't think it's that, because you've got the Ace of Pentacles above it. And I think as well you're walking away from something because that's the energy within you. And I think it's the case here that it's realising that what we do in our financial world does not just affect us today, it does not just affect us next year, but it can affect entire generations. So I think this realisation about the economy, about money and stuff like that, and the fact that it's not a natural thing, it's not a fair, it's not a fair exchange in most cases. Just go and talk to people, sweeping up dirt in some mine somewhere, in Africa. It could be kids and stuff like that. That doesn't necessarily have to be in Africa. It can be all over the places. This has got to be addressed in the UK as much as in Venezuela, as in any country around the world. And if we do address it, we're going to realise that the way we've been doing things is probably not the way to do it in the future. And the thing within you, you're going to realise this and kind of say, I want to walk away from that and go on that journey of discovery to a brighter future, basically, to a new set of cups, basically, a new set of way of being. So that's what the eclipse is initiating at the end of April. Let's go into the reading of your coming month of May. This whole video will be this reading will be linked in the description below, and we will be splitting it into two, because there's very two different entities, to be honest, in May, because this is just like the initiator and with the eclipse, And this is what's coming up for you in this coming month. So I will see you over in the reading for the month of May. In the meantime, Gemini, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.